Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for tuning in to another episode of the 757 Renaissance Man podcast. I have a brother here today that's it's hard to even describe how he had me in stitches the other night, and it was so effortlessly. I'm just gonna let him do his thing. Ladies and gentlemen, I want to introduce you to Joe Willis. How you doing, sir?
What's up, man? How are you?
I'm good. It's funny that after we met, we realized that I've been knowing your family for a long time.
Yeah. It's a small world, man. You know, I say that all the time. Small world.
Yeah. Yep. Big Daddy was your brother, and Tone is your nephew, and me and Tone kind of came up together.
Oh, word.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's what's up. So that's man. That's crazy.
You family. That's how. But 757. That's how we do.
Yeah.
You gotta be careful. You always are like a stone's throw away from a cousin.
Right. Exactly. Never know, man. Never know. You know, it's really interesting how you know, not just our situation, but you meet people that you really think you meet for the first time, but in some way you've already crossed paths with them, you know,
and been connected. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So tell the people, who is Joe Willis?
Well, I am a father. Well, let me back up. I always say father first. I am a husband, a father, and grandfather. I actually have 2 grandchildren. I have a grandson and a granddaughter, and I have a granddaughter on the way. So, I'm very excited about that. Let's see. I've been married. This year will be 7 years. And I'm also the associate pastor at my church, Crown Life Ministries. Shout out to Pastor Jay. And, you know, I'm a comedian. So I've been doing comedy for this month, I think, makes 4 years. I think it's July. Did my first show 4 years ago. And I've done some acting, some stage plays here in high school and in the 757. Done some stage plays. But I just love being. I never knew that I love just talking to people as much as I did until I got older, and just I've always liked to make people laugh from the time I was a little boy, and just inspiring people, So I'm a little bit of everything. I'm doing a little bit of everything, and just hopefully making the people that I come in contact with, making their lives a little bit better in some form, Yeah.
All right. So my first initial question is, what came first, the ministry or the comedy?
Oh, the ministry came first. I've been a minister for about 9 years. So I think I'm coming up on my 10th year. So the ministry definitely came first. But the funny thing about it was there was always some comedy sprinkled in it a little bit. I didn't know that, but I guess just because I like seeing people laugh, I would say something in there, every once in a while, and they would laugh. But definitely the ministry came first.
So that kind of slides into my next question. Being that the ministry was first, did that ease your way into the comedy? Because you're already used to speaking to people in crowds, so that wasn't a thing, right?
Yeah, I guess I could, yeah, I could say that, getting up in church and speaking in front of people. I've done that for a while, and then now doing this. So definitely made it easier, but I've never had a problem with, you know, going up front, and if it's in the class or, or in a meeting or whatever, I've never had a problem with, doing that. Now, not saying I wasn't nervous, but I always had a way to kind of suppress that or to hide that through my words. So I guess I got a little bit of gift of gab, you know, um, like my brother. My brother had that too. So, but yeah, it definitely made it a little easier for me, a little bit.
So I like your style of comedy where
Hmm.
it's conversational.
Hmm.
It's some comedians they have to have the gag and the bit,
Hmm.
but your
Yeah,
comedy is like talking to your homeboy comedy.
yeah, 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 yeah. You noticed all that fast?
Yeah.
um, I don't know. I guess because when I was little, and I have older parents, so like, they had my brother, and then 13 years later, it was like, you know what, we want two more. So they had me and my younger sister. So I always had older aunts and uncles, and when they would come over to the house, you know, I would just do stuff to make them laugh, and it'd just be ordinary stuff. And then that kind of stayed with me. Um, just in conversation, because I come up from such a big family, just finding things that's funny, that's normal stuff. Just, like you said, not necessarily. Now, I do write some jokes that have the bits, that have the stories that maybe I have embellished on a little bit to make it funnier. But a lot of the stuff I talk about are actual things that happened to me that I could have with you and I right now in a conversation. It's, um, but I had to learn to be flexible, to kind of cater to the crowd that you're at. But yeah, that's just kind of man. I'm surprised you you noticed that, man. Okay, okay, I got to watch myself from now on because I know you watch. Yeah.
Man, I'm one of those. Always wanted to kind of be a comedian when I was younger, so I
Hmm.
studied comedians, and like one
Mm.
of the first people that I realized was famous. I'm slipping to my age a little bit.
Uh,
I come from the age where they used to listen to Richard Pryor records,
right.
and they used to
Right.
listen to Red Fox albums, and we used to sneak and listen to them. I remember my parents going out. I was a little boy when they went out on a date,
Hmm.
and it was one of the few times that like me and my sister couldn't go with them, and they went to the theater to see Richard Pryor.
Hmm.
So I had to be like, "Who is this Richard Pryor that took my parents away from me?" And that kind of
Right.
started it. So I love comedians, man.
Right.
I
Right. Yeah.
appreciate I
Yeah.
appreciate how you, comedians are the few people who can be honest. That's why it's funny that you're a comedian and a preacher, because
Uh-huh.
comedians and preachers are some of the people that can still be honest but um, give you the real.
Right. Right.
Yeah,
Right. Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. It's uh, and I notice now because I have embraced the comedian part. When I'm preaching or even just like because I'm a worship leader at church too, so even in that, um, there's always a place where because you know how it is when you're standing in front of people. They got a lot of different things on their mind. Sometimes, their attention span, even as adults, we always talk about kids. Adults, I believe there's such thing as adult ADD, and I think I am probably should be diagnosed with that because every once in a while, it's like squirrel. You got to stay
Right.
focused. But you know, I even in just giving delivering the word, I find things that um, because you want to keep them engaged so that they can hear what you're saying. And it's, because I remember growing up in church, I would be sleepy because it just seemed like the preacher's going on and on and on. So when God gives me a word, he also gives me those little things that I throw out there that get them to engage them mentally to start thinking about what actually listening and thinking about what I'm saying. So it's really, I consider it a gift, to be able to take both of them and make them work at the same time. Because a lot of people say, well, how can you do both? How can you be a minister and you're preaching from the Bible and, this and thou and shall and all that, but then tell a joke? Because of what they see how a comedian usually is, cursing and all these different verbiage that they use, and they're thinking, well, how can you put that with that? Well, I agree with you on that, but I'm a clean comedian. I don't curse. I don't get too deep into your bedroom, or even my bedroom. You know what I'm saying? I don't do any of that. But I can make something funny and never use a bad word. And a lot of times by the time I get off stage, they don't even realize I haven't cursed. I've been shows where they're all comedians that they're not clean, and I'm the only one. And I love it because I'm like, you know what? This is a challenge.
I can point really to prove. Right.
Yeah, man, So I just did a Father's Day show, and I was the only one that didn't. I mean, they were good comedians. Don't get me wrong. I listen to all comedians. When I listen, I don't be like, oh, no, no, I don't do that. I listen to them, but they were really good. But just being able to, it's like a challenge in myself. I don't say anything. I still got some laughs, and I didn't say any bad words. You know what I mean? So, yeah.
And there are quite a few clean comedians out here, but I think a lot of times the ones that use profanity get more attention.
Yeah, because, and this is just my opinion, it's like the curse word, or that, like, for example, the F-bomb becomes the punchline.
Right.
You know what I mean? So, in some cases, did you really make it funny? You know what I mean? So with me, the challenge of making it funny from beginning to end, or at least setting you up to that without saying anything bad, I think it takes, it's a little bit harder, a little bit more challenging.
That's what I think it takes more skill to be a clean comedian.
Yeah, it certainly does. It certainly does. But the one thing I think the advantage I have is, you have some comedians that are not clean that will adjust their set to become clean, but I never have to change anything. I can go anywhere. I can be in a corporate office. I can be at a senior home. I can be in church. I can be at the Funny Bone. It doesn't matter. And my stuff stays the same. So I think that's the part that I really, really, really enjoy.
So my question now is, have you ever forgot where you was at and switched roles and didn't realize it?
Switch roles as far as the type of comedian I was?
No, like be in the middle of a sermon and then kind of go into the comedian side, or vice versa, or been doing a show and slipped up and almost got the Holy Ghost.
I haven't slipped up and almost got the Holy Ghost. I have said amen, like instead of saying, y'all understand what I'm saying or whatever, I'd be like, amen, and they'll say amen. I was like, and then I use that. I'm like,
be like, ooh, y'all should have been in church.
Right. But on the other side, in preaching, I always have, like my bullet points of what I want to, what I'm saying and what my subject is or whatever. But I can't help it. Someone told me this the other day. He was like, I like how you work the crowd. A lot of comedians either that's all they do is work the crowd, and they pick out people and that's funny. I mean, I laugh at that, or they just have a set and that's all they do. But I I a lot of times when I get ready to get up to preach, I've already noticed something that happened before, up to that point during the service, and I make a middle note of that, and that's kind of like my icebreaker into getting into my sermon, you know, because like I said before, once I have their attention, then I can like give them that, it's kind of like a doctor when, this is a loose illustration, but a doctor has a child and they have to give them a shot and it's going to hurt a little bit. So they'd be like, here's this piece of candy, and bam, they give them the shot, don't even know it, but they were, ready for it. So yeah.
Yeah, man. All right. So I like to do rapid fire questions.
Oh, okay.
I'm going to do, let me see, 1, 2, 3, 4. We're going to start out with 5. And these are 5 random questions.
Okay.
Answer them with the first thing that comes to your mind.
Oh, Lord. Okay.
Ready?
Mm-hmm.
What's the first impression you want to give people?
Man, that I just want to, for that little bit of time, that I'm a great person all around. I mean, it's not so much about my faith so much, because Christians can fake that, but it's just about being genuine. That's the main thing. I'm a genuine person. I think that's the word I would use. Yeah.
All right.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Question 2. Do you like to plan things out in detail or be spontaneous?
Plan. I am an accountant by trade. So I have spreadsheets for everything. You can ask my wife. Somebody say, well, hey, y'all want to go on this trip? Well, let me check with Joe. And he got to go through the spreadsheets. I'm more of a planner than spontaneous. Yeah.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
That's interesting.
Mm-hmm.
What is the main thing that influences your decisions?
Ooh. Oh, I don't know what I'm thinking. I acknowledge him in everything, and him, by my father, first. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes it's a no-brainer because, it depends on what it is, but I have to acknowledge him first. Second is Mrs. Wills, of course. You know
Smart
what I'm saying?
Man.
But, yeah, and she understands that. Most guys would say, well, I got to talk to my wife first. Well, in me talking to my wife, I've already ran it by my father first, So, yeah, I got to include him. So,
and then sometimes she could be confirmation.
Oh, yes, definitely. And she can not only be confirmation, but she can be, because, we sometimes, and I'll be transparent, feel like, oh, you know what? I know this is what God wants me to do. Mm-hmm. Nah, it's what you want to do. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? So in consulting with her, it could be like that eye opener and be like, you know what? She's right. What you're about to do or the decision you're about to make is not the best decision, because she'll be like, well, have you thought about this or have you thought about that? So, yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, she'll fine tune that plan.
Yeah.
I try to tell everybody, you find you a good woman.
Yes.
That's the secret to a lot of things right there.
Yeah.
And it's something about Black women intuition, man.
Oh man. Yeah. Yeah, it is. I mean, hey, back in the day, I know, they used to use this term henpeck, the man was henpecked or whatever. I never let that affect me because, when I decided to marry her, it was about my, her life and my life coming together. Now it's about our life. Mm-hmm. And so the dudes can say, I mean, they don't really say that to me. I mean, but I'm sure they still use the term. But, they can say, man, oh, you soft, or you this, or you that. Well, I'm going to just be soft because, at the end of the day, it's about me and her, building this life and making a life together for the rest of our lives, So for me to try to stick my chest out just to show off in front of the dudes, I'm not doing that. You know, I know what the consequences are from doing that, because look, you can show off in the street, but when you come home, it's just you and her.
You gotta live there, so
yeah, sure. Yeah, so yeah,
and
that's
it's
true.
true what they say: happy wife, happy life.
Yeah, it is. It is. I mean, and then some people, I don't know if you heard the term. Some people say happy spouse, happy house, or something like that. Which that's true too. But you know, if she's not happy, I mean, I can be unhappy, and she'll be like, "Well, you know, he'd be all right after a while." I can't do that. You know what I'm saying? I can't be like, "Look, ain't nothing happening right till I'm this." Man, ain't nobody trying to do all that. Anyway.
All right.
Yeah.
Which magazine would you like to be on the cover of?
Oh man. You know, the first response would be Ebony. I mean, you know, I don't think they make Jet anymore, you know.
No.
But
Jet got me through my
I would have to
years.
Say, yeah.
You know, remember they used to have the beauty of the week?
Most definitely.
We used to get the Jet magazine. I'll go right to the beauty of the week, and then I'll flip to the end to the back where they had the record listings.
Yes.
And that's all I wanted was that, and I was done with it.
2 pages. 2 pages got you through. Yeah, that's all you care about. That's true. But I have to say Ebony. You know, because I think about some of the icons that have been on the front of that page.
Yes.
You know, so to be a part of that would be awesome. That would be phenomenal.
And you know, growing up, you know, that was sometimes the only time you saw professional Black people.
Yep. You know, from the athletes to the actors and musicians and just
politicians.
You know, politicians. Yep. And it was like the Ebony and Jet. You know, was like a staple in the Black community or in the Black home. You know, you get that book. You know what I'm saying? And you just look through and you can read about different things, because you know they always didn't talk about it on air. So this was the way for them to share it. You know what African Americans were doing. So, yeah.
All right, last question.
Okay.
Were you ever really passionate about something and then suddenly lost interest? And if so, what was it?
Comedy. Let me tell you. So real quick, you know, so my stage name is the Inspirational Comedian.
Okay.
And how I came up with that was I was leaving the gym one day, which this was a long time ago, as you could tell, but and I was just having a just thinking. I was like, you know, if I could create my own career or profession, give it a name, what would it be? And I was like, well, I love making people laugh, and I like inspiring people to, do better or chase their dreams or things like that. So I was like, I just put the 2 words together. So I became the Inspirational Comedian. And then, so I used to do a lot of funny stuff on Facebook. And then somehow out of the blue, somebody invited me to do a comedy show. I'm like, I want to be a comedian, but I ain't say this fast,
Right.
So I went and did the show and actually did pretty well. I mean, they gave me like 10 minutes. I did pretty well. So about 2 weeks later, I saw where Leonard Oots was going to be at Broadway. Mm-hmm. So my nephew, he was working there at the time, had the restaurant, and he was like, I said, Tony, see if you can get me just like 5 minutes, because I'm hyped. I'm hyped. I had a good show a couple weeks ago. Now I'm going to be on the stage and share the stage with Leonard Oots. I mean, it was a small little venue, but so he talked to the man. He's like, yeah, he give you 5 minutes. You can open up. I was like, yes. Man, I got there, got on stage. I looked out in the audience. My wife came with me. It was 8 people in the audience.
Whoa.
8 people. And my wife was one of them, and so was my nephew, Tony. So, and all of them came to see him. So I'm up there. I was like, I got this. And I get up there, and I'm telling my jokes, and they're just looking at me like, who is this dude? And I think I did like 2 minutes. The guy gave me like 5 or 6 minutes. I did 2 minutes and I said, well, that's my time. Y'all have a good night. And I felt like I was a dog walking off the stage with his tail between his legs. And I was like, oh no, I don't think this for me right here. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Which it taught me a lot though. That one experience taught me a lot. You know, I became overconfident. Mm-hmm. So, and just starting off. So yeah, I seriously was like, I don't know if I want to do this. You know, maybe it's too much for me, but I overcame it. And of course, one of the reasons why was I had somebody in my corner, which my wife, she was like, you know, that's just one time. Don't worry about it. I'm like, I don't know, you know, but so I decided to keep going. And here I am like 4 years later. So
nice,
yeah.
Nice.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So I always end my episodes off like this. If a young Joe came to you and asked you for advice, life advice, what would you tell him?
Oh man. The first thing I would be, you know, is, you know, if you have something you want to pursue, a dream you want to pursue, you know, pursue it. You know, find what works for you. Find what you love to do. You know, like I said, I'm an accountant. I don't love to do it. It pays the bills. But at the time, it was like something that seemed pretty simple. But find something that you enjoy doing it, and make a life out of it, because you become happier, you know. And not only that, just be kind to people. One thing that my father, he's passed now, but the one thing he taught me that I will always take with me is, you know, be that genuine person, like I spoke of earlier. Love people, you know, show love to everyone. And just make sure you treat people like you want to be treated, you know. Yeah, I think those things would be things that I would tell a young Joe, because I think it'll get you through life pretty easy, and help you reach your purpose. It's about reaching your purpose.
So the next time that you preach, you gotta send me a message.
Okay, I'll do that, man. That's definitely.
I gotta experience both sides.
Yeah, I'll definitely do that. Definitely.
I'm for real. I am so for real.
I will. Definitely. And that's not a problem. Man.
Tell the pastor, it depends on what I put on the offering plate. Depends on how funny you are.
Oh, I ain't gonna tell him that. I'll just let it be a surprise, man. Let it be a surprise. Yeah.
So how can all of the people get in touch with you? How can they book you? Where can they find you? Where are you going to be at? Talk about the brunch. Here you go.
Okay. Well, the brunch. So I have a new live recording, if you will, basically talk show format. It's called What's Cracking. It's going to be at Southern Flair Pub House. The address is 1400 Kempsville Road, which is literally like down the street from me. And it's going to be a little different than, you know, it's going to have that talk show, radio show format with a little bit of the inspirational twist on it, because, you know, it'll be like the topic of the day. There's going to be some trivia, because people are in there eating brunch. Oh yeah, come get some brunch too. You know, the brunch starts at 11. The show starts at 12. Some trivia, and then it's going to be the inspiration for the day. I'll always end with that. So that's going to be Sundays. The show starts at 12. Brunch starts at 11 at Southern Flair Pub House.
Hold on.
What else?
What kind of brunch are we talking?
We talking about, okay.
Are we talking about brunch?
Nah.
Are we talking about waffles, fried chicken?
Yeah, you can get some. You get some. One of the things my specialty, and I know the cook well. When he sees me come in and he already knows. I get the banana Foster's French toast, bro.
Ooh.
I'm trying to tell you, and I'm not a cooked fruit person, so I wouldn't normally want the bananas on there. the omelets. He does shrimp and grits. He does what else? I said the omelets. He got sausage. He does pancake. He does pineapple upside down pancakes. Look, let me tell you.
So if y'all in my church and it's about 10:45, you see the finger go up. You know where I'm about to tip out to.
You're on your way. I took actually Rain and Levi met me up there, and they were about to go crazy, man. So it's really good. So have that on Sundays. Also, let's see, you can find me on Facebook. I don't know why I decided to use my whole government name, but it is what it is. I'm not going to change it now. It's Joseph Curtis Wills. Wills is Wills. I also have the Inspirational Comedian page on there. You can find me on Instagram at _inspirational_comedian. Let's see. I have a YouTube channel kind of getting underway. The Inspirational Comedian. Let's see. I'm on TikTok. I don't know. TikTok is a different world.
My kids told me I'm too old for TikTok.
But you're not. Let me tell you. A man that was the pastor on Greenleaf, I can't think of his name, the actor. He did a TikTok. I just seen it like yesterday. So,
I think my kids are more so like, we need our own place, Daddy. Don't come to TikTok.
Yeah. Well, I mean, there's some people up there older than us doing well. Other thing is, let's see what else I got. Oh, I'm ready to put out the flyer. The flyer is almost ready. I'm gonna share it with you because you're my man.
All right.
I'm putting together my first comedy show.
Okay.
Producing it. It's going to be Labor Day weekend, the 4th. I might need to talk to you about some stuff too, but we'll talk later. But anyway, it'll be my first show. Nervous and excited all at the same time. It's going to be good. Got some good comedians. And I think that's about it, man. That's me. Yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen, I appreciate your time. Joe, man, anytime you got anything you want to talk about, I got a platform. Let's do it. Just shoot me a message and you're here.
Look, you notice, you see I like to talk a lot. Don't be saying that and don't mean it. Then I'll be like, hey, yo, Sean, where you at, man? I'm sure we supposed to be doing this. Nah, but yeah, hey, man, look, I appreciate you, man. Thank you for having me on your show. I love it, man. This is really, really fun. And maybe we can do this again sometime, man, down the road.
No, of course. I couldn't even let you finish your set when I met you before I asked you to be on. So, yeah, come on.
Yeah. I appreciate you, man. Thank you so much.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is the 757 Renaissance Man podcast. You can reach us at 757renaissanceman.com, where you can find all the things and all the places, including this interview and the video. And you can leave us a message. You can leave us a voicemail. You can tell us what you liked and what you didn't like. Come holler at us. Joe, man, once again, thank you for coming on and taking your time out your day. I'm Sean. This is Joe. And we out.
Thank you.